So, Pastor, I was actually out at a wedding this weekend and was just listening to the sermon today, getting ready for this. And I was listening to it, just this whole theme of grace. For me, it was popping into my head. It's just the incredible sacrifice that goes along with that. And the story that popped out to me that I remembered was Chronicles of Narnia and Aslan, specifically his sacrifice. And as he goes in, you see it's very much him laying down his life and not being forced to, because you see as he walks in how much power he has and everything else, and it's just the incredible moment where you recognize this great being is laying down his life willingly. I was just wondering, as you think about sacrifice and grace, are there any moments, any stories or movies that stand out to you that you think of that you're like, man, they really did a great job of capturing this?
There is a powerful one in the film called The Mission. It's actually a film from the 90s, early 90s as a matter of fact, where it's about a group of missionaries who went into a place in, I believe it was in South America, and they really did terrible things to the villagers and so forth. And one of the men that was part of this story confessed to the priest what he had done, and the priest made him do this act of penance, which was to gather up his belongings, a bunch of pewter and silver and things like that, and put them in a huge net. And he carried that with him on this journey to go to this village and to this tribe that they had terribly mistreated. And he had to climb this horrible mountain, and you got this long, arduous trip, and he's falling and slipping and sliding down, and he has to go back and get it and so forth. He gets to the top, and the tribal, a couple of the members of the tribe that he had so terribly abused meet him there. And you have this moment where there's this, what's going to happen, and the tribal leader comes up to this man, and he takes out his knife, and you think, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? He takes out his knife and he cuts this rope, this huge net, off of the missionary, or it wasn't a missionary, off of this merchant, and throws this big burden off the cliff into the ocean, into the river below. And you have such a powerful image of forgiveness and of grace. And the significance of it was not the fact that that guy had carried that up the hill that caused this person to do it. It was the movement of that tribal leader to bring grace and forgiveness and to let that man's burden go. He didn't do anything to deserve it being gone, but the tribal leader removed it. And to me, that was a very powerful, always has remained with me as a powerful image of forgiveness. And the sacrifice that was made was simply him letting go of the bitterness and resentment that he, in a way, rightfully would have had for the treatment that he and his tribe had been subjected to by this particular merchant. So that's a powerful image for me.
Yeah, definitely. You asked if I'd watched that, and I said no. Probably because I was probably around 6 or 7 when it came out.
Could be.
But I'll definitely check it out.
It's worth its power. It's got some very powerful images and scenes in it. So
it reminds me of Jim Elliot's story, kind of the flip side, because it was the Elliot family that was showing grace. If you haven't seen that, definitely look it up. They've got a special on YouTube that you can find pretty easily. It's just an incredible story. So.